And here's a full taping for tennis elbow. Firstly, what is tennis elbow? Its formal name is lateral epicondylitis, so the clue is in the name. Lateral, outside, epicondyle, so that bump on the outside of the humerus, itis, so inflammation. And this is where our clients get pain on touch or on action on that very outer edge of the elbow joint, on the humerus. The causes can be multifactorial. It can be from repetitive strain, doing things like gardening, using a mouse, as well as poor technique in sports like tennis, golf, baseball, anything where they're using that hand and gripping. I've often even seen it from pull-ups, not just from tennis. So it's really important we get to understand our clients and what they're doing, because until we address those activities of daily life, it's likely that our results won't stick. And this is where tape can help us prolong that pain-free period as we address those activities that are causing the problem. So once we've done a full assessment and have a treatment plan, what are your treatment considerations? It is likely that they have hypertonic wrist extensors and pronators, so you might be working through that to release the tension, increase the range of motion, and create softness to offload that tendon. You might also want to reduce the pain and inflammation at the elbow itself. And as we move out of that acute, subacute, painful stage, it's important that we start to load and strengthen that tendon to get it back to strong and ready for their activities of daily life. Remember, we're treating local, but look global. Often I find restrictions in the shoulder or neck or spine are causing that overuse or reliance on the arms and hands, which can be feeding into why your client has presented with this condition. So once again, really important that we consider their activities. So let's look at how we tape for the acute and early subacute phase. So a two-step taping for tennis elbow. Firstly, to inhibit the wrist extensors, and secondly, a mechanical taping to offload the tendon, to get that pressure off and just help it to get pain-free. Other options here are to also place a desensitization taping directly over the painful epicondyle. First step, inhibition. So we need a 7 to 8 inch piece long of tape. We're going to anchor away from the midline of the body, so we're going to anchor that tape with no tension on the back of the hand. Then we're going to peel back the middle portion of the tape, and we're going to get our client to flex, so put the extensors on stretch, add a light amount of stretch to the tape and rub it down well to stick. Simply anchor with no tension on the tape and no stretch on the tissue. Step 2 is to offload the tendon. So a 3 or 4 inch piece of tape here, middle of the tape active. So here we're going to put a heavy amount of stretch on the tape, get our clients to put the tissue on stretch and press and apply that tape in a down and towards the epicondyle direction. Not directly over the painful epicondyle, but a good inch or two below. Anchor with no tension and no stretch. As we move into the subacute and remodeling phase, we want to change our focus to activation to support our strengthening rehabilitation work. So a one-step taping to activate the wrist extensors. Other options here are to address any global issues. So for example, tapings to support shoulder mobility or stability. For example, a pectoral inhibition, if that rounded shoulder pectoral dominance is causing a restriction in the shoulder. Activation, so we're going to anchor towards the midline of the body. So peel back that first inch of tape and we're going to anchor it above the epicondyle, so not directly over the area of pain. And then we're going to peel back the active portion of the tape, so the next 6 or 7 inches. And then we're going to ask our clients to flex their wrist, so to put those extensors on stretch, light amount of stretch on the tape, rubbing it well to stick, and then simply anchoring with no tension on the tape and no stretch on the tissue, rubbing well to stick.